In this video, why I tried to drink celery juice for 30 days, but only made it 15. So one of the biggest questions I get, I think I get an email almost every day, or a comment on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, is do I drink celery juice? Whether the person thinks that it is the most wonderful miracle drug on earth, or if the person's questioning whether they should drink it because they've heard it's the most wonderful miracle drug on earth. So because so many people ask me about it, and I really don't like to discount anything, I keep a very open mind about natural health things in general, just because, you know, like for example, medical medium, he's kind of controversial, right? But so is using diet for Hashimoto's. My original doctor said diet would never do anything. Totally discounted diet as any sort of cure or relief or anything like that, right? So to him, diet was like the medical medium kind of controversy. Like it just wouldn't work. So I don't like to discount things. I like to learn about it all and then use the data that I've had, the scientific proof, experiences of others and all this kind of stuff to kind of make my own path. And if something's going to be totally harmful or maybe harmful, of course I'm not going to do it. But drinking celery juice didn't seem like it would be anything that would be harmful because it's just celery. And I figured, hey, I'll just try it for 30 days to see what happens. Now, before I started, I did get Anthony William, the medical medium's celery juice book, so I could read through it, understand what his justifications for it all were and all of that kind of stuff, any side effects I should look out for, all of these different things. And his idea is that celery juice has these as yet undiscovered sodium cluster salts that seem to attack everything in the body that is bad. His idea is that like Hashimoto's and a lot of these autoimmune diseases are all rooted in the Epstein-Barr virus or mono. And so like the celery salts kind of go after these viruses and kind of really help you. And I have to say, as much as like a lot of this stuff does seem made up, he does seem to address almost everything. It is interesting because a lot of it goes against the training I've had and a lot of the information that science kind of says right now, but he really does have a lot of backup for everything. So it is fascinating and intriguing to me. I'm not one to completely write it off because of the fact that he does seem to have backups for everything. Do I believe it at all? Probably not, but again, I'm not gonna write it all off. So anyway, like after reading through this, I was definitely interested, fascinated, and I wanted to try this. So I set about going to try celery juice for 30 straight days. So I started off at the very beginning of September trying this with my plan going for 30 straight days. I started off the first day with only 4 ounces because I had read some people have some really big reactions. You're supposed to drink 16 ounces eventually each day. And so I wanted to start off small just in case. And I had heard via watching a lot of other YouTube videos and reading blog posts and all of this the research that I've done, some people had some major issues on the first day, like had to run to the bathroom immediately, poop their pants kind of issues. I experienced none of that at all. I didn't even have any sort of digestive upset or anything like that. The only thing I noticed the first day was about 20 minutes after I drank it, which you have to drink it on an empty stomach to really make it effective, according to Anthony, was that I felt a little dizzy, like almost kind of like if you drank some alcohol and you get that dizziness. It was a little weird, but that was the only thing I felt. Now, mind you, I started this right the day after I recorded the video on how my Hashimoto's was doing, like from a year after my AIP diet. I was feeling fantastic. I was doing great. So starting this, I really didn't expect to feel much better, but you never know, right? And in the back of my mind, if like his claims were true or everything like that, then maybe I wouldn't even have to do any of the diet stuff anymore. Maybe I'd be miraculously cured. And you know, you always wonder like if there is some magic pill out there, right? So I wanted to try it and just see. I thought maybe I could reduce my medication, or because I'm still on Armour thyroid every day for my thyroid hormone that I don't seem to produce, and you know, just things like that. So it's not like my life is perfect. There are still things I could improve upon, so I figured I could try it. But also at this time, I do drink green juice and green smoothies, eat a lot of vegetables. So I pretty much have a very nutrient dense diet as it is. I think a lot of the people that may have had a lot of these digestive issues and stuff that I've seen on YouTube may not have had such a nutrient dense diet to begin with. So going straight into like having a ton of nutrients from a green drink may be part of the problem. I don't know. I'm not a nutritionist, not actually sure. The drink is pretty salty and it is a diuretic. So I did notice the first few days that I had to get up and pee like 15 times a night. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, just the dizziness and having to pee a lot were the only things I really noticed the first few days. Then came the second week, and it was weird because when I get like a Hashimoto's flare, one of my symptoms is that I get a sore throat, and it's a very, very mild sore throat where it just kind of feels like, you know, when you feel like a cold's coming on, but it's not like full on, like you don't have to take cough drops or anything like that. It's just there, it's kind of an annoyance, but it's not anything so bad. That's the way it starts for me with my Hashimoto's flares, and I started getting that, and it just seems to have gotten worse and worse and worse the longer I was doing the celery juice thing. I changed nothing else in my diet, I changed nothing else in my lifestyle, like everything else remained the same during these first 15 days, but yet my throat just kept getting worse and worse, and it was like all day, all night. I mean, I felt it all the time. And I remember Googling, could not really find much information about other people experiencing this, but it was getting to the point where it was getting annoying. And actually, like I started to take cough drops and stuff. Like I started to feel like I was coming down with something, but I don't know. I also noticed some other like little weird things, like I started getting tired in the afternoons. All of like the adrenal fatigue kind of symptoms all seemed to kind of be coming back as well. So just to be on the safe side that it was the celery juice and not something else that was causing the whole flare, I stopped the celery juice 15 days in because I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like causing any damage, and also to just make sure that there was, you know, nothing else going on. Ever since then, all of those symptoms have definitely gotten better. I still feel them slightly, but they've definitely gotten better. So then, just to see again if maybe the celery juice was not related, since everything's gotten better, I figured, hey, I'll try the celery juice again and see what happens. And sure enough, my throat started hurting almost immediately after drinking it. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's probably just me. Other people may be experiencing this as well, but I just wanted to make this video to explain that celery juice isn't a miracle cure for everyone apparently, and that if you do find issues with drinking it and don't find yourself to feel so amazing and incredible or anything like that, you're not alone, because I'm not finding it to be a miracle cure for me. I felt worse, and I don't think this is definitely something that everyone's going to experience. I think some people are going to find great results from it. But I just wanted to let you know that's not always the wonderful thing that everyone touts as well. So my thoughts on it are, try it if you want. I'm not saying don't try it, but if you notice that you seem to be going on a downward trend like I was, then stop it. Don't keep doing it just because everyone else does it. If you do it and you start feeling fantastic and great, keep going. It also doesn't taste that good. So, I don't know. It's one of, yeah, so I'm not a nutritionist or anything, so I can't say like, you know, there's not enough fiber and all of these different like reasons that I read why celery juice from a nutritionist or scientific standpoint isn't necessarily good for you, or not good for you, but you wouldn't get the same benefits as if you ate a stick of celery, for example. Anthony always, like, he mentions in this, eating it doesn't do the same thing, drinking it while having a full stomach doesn't do the same thing. I mean, all of these different things, like he has very specific rules for how you're supposed to do it, which is interesting, and I followed them, but yeah, again, it's definitely a highly individual thing, but I just wanted to make this video to let you know that if you are trying it and you don't find success, then don't feel bad, because I didn't either. And I wanted to mention too, If you do try this and you're making juice, sometimes juice feels kind of wasteful because you're getting rid of a lot of the parts of the plant. And especially if you're making juice in a juicer like I have, which is so old, I think like I may have given myself botulism. That may have been the problem. But the pulp, I learned from another video to freeze it in ice cube trays, and that way you can take the pulp and put it into smoothies later, and then that way you're getting the fiber and some of the nutrients and stuff from the celery. And then if you're cutting off like the leafy tops, which Anthony mentions makes the juice bitter, and then also the bottoms, you can take that and freeze those as well and add them to your chicken and beef stock as well. So at least that way you don't feel like you're wasting so much of this, especially if it doesn't work for you. You can get the juice, try it, get the nutrients from that, and then get the nutrients from all the other parts as well. So there you have it. That's why I stopped drinking celery juice at day 15. Probably won't be drinking it anymore. So luckily I don't need this. And I'll be drinking green smoothies and green juices and stuff because I feel like those don't cause a problem for me, but I also don't drink them every single day either. So it's just one of those things. I do these kind of things in moderation when my body kind of craves it, things like that, and that seems to work for me. But you know, again, try to see what works for you, but it may not be a miracle cure.